Imagine you're standing in the middle of a crowded subway station in Tokyo during rush hour. Thousands of people are moving, and yet it's almost silent. Now, look closer. You see a 5-year-old child sitting perfectly still next to their mother. No iPad, no screaming, no begging for candy, just calm. Why is it that 80% of parents in the United States report feeling overwhelmed by daily tantrums, while in Japan, children seem to possess an almost supernatural level of emotional regulation and obedience? If you think it's just strictness or fear, you are completely wrong. In fact, it's the exact opposite. Research from top institutions like the University of Tokyo suggests that the secret lies in a deep psychological framework that most Western parents have never even heard of. If you are currently struggling with a child who won't listen, or if you feel like your home has turned into a constant battlefield of yelling and timeouts, this video is going to change everything you thought you knew about raising a human being. Most of us in cities like Chicago or Los Angeles have been raised on a diet of behaviorism. We think, if the kid does something bad, we punish them. If they do something good, we give them a sticker. We've been taught that children are manipulative and that we need to break their will early on, so we resort to the yelling cycle. We tell Michael to put his toys away. He ignores us. We raise our voice. He ignores us again. We scream. And then, finally, he moves. But here is the problem. Biologically, when you scream, you trigger the child's amygdala, their fight or flight response. Their brain floods with cortisol, which literally shuts down the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for, you guessed it, logic and cooperation. By trying to force obedience, we are actually making it biologically impossible for our children to listen. We are creating a generation of kids who are stressed, reactive, and ultimately disconnected from us. But the most successful parents in the world, the ones raising the calmest, most cooperative children in Japan, they don't use these power struggles. They use a concept called Ikuji, a philosophy of nurturing rather than molding. They know a secret that Western science is only just beginning to prove, and it involves 8 specific rules that create a lifelong bond of mutual respect. Rule number 1 is the concept of Shitsuke, but not as we know it. In the West, we translate this as discipline, but in Japan, it means beautiful training. It's the idea that discipline isn't something you do to a child, it's a way of life you show them. This brings us to the first major revelation, skinship. In a study conducted over several years, researchers found that Japanese mothers emphasize physical closeness, or skinship, far more than American mothers. In the U.S., we are told to give babies their own space, to let them cry it out in a nursery in a separate room. But in Japan, children often sleep in the same room as their parents until they are 10 years old, and they are carried a lot. The result? A massive spike in oxytocin, the bonding hormone, and a significant drop in baseline cortisol. By meeting the child's need for proximity early on, the child develops a secure attachment, which makes them want to please their parents later in life because the bond is so strong. Rule 2 is the proximity rule, and it's why you rarely see a Japanese parent yelling across a playground. If David is doing something wrong, the parent walks over, kneels down to eye level, and whispers. This is a huge shift. In a house in Miami, you might hear a dad shouting, "Stop that!" from the kitchen. But that's just noise. To a child, it's a threat, not a lesson. By getting close, you engage the social engagement system of the brain, making cooperation natural, not forced. Now, let's talk about Meiwaku. Rule number 3. This is the no-bother rule. In America, we focus on the child's individual rights. It's my toy. I want to scream. But in Japan, children are taught from age 2 to consider how their actions affect the wa, the harmony of the group. Instead of saying, "Don't run because I said so," a Japanese parent might say, "If you run, the floor will be sad, and the people downstairs will be bothered." They use empathy as the primary tool for behavior, not authority. Rule 4 is perhaps the most famous. Gaman, which translates to patience or endurance. But it's not about suffering, it's about emotional regulation. When a child in New York wants a candy bar at the checkout line and starts crying, the parent often gets embarrassed and either gives in or gets angry. But a parent practicing Gaman teaches the child to sit with the feeling of wanting. They acknowledge the feeling. I see you want that. And then they wait. They don't distract. They don't bribe. They just model the calm state they want the child to reach. This builds the prefrontal muscle, the ability to delay gratification, which is the #1 predictor of success in adult life. Let's look at a case study. Take John, a father in Houston, who was struggling with his 6-year-old son's aggression. John started implementing Rule 5, Shokuiku, or food education. In Japan, lunch isn't just a break. It's a lesson in gratitude. Children serve each other, they clean up together, and they thank the food. By involving his son in the preparation and the cleaning ritual at home, John noticed a 40% decrease in his son's entitlement tantrums within just 3 weeks. Why? Because the child felt like a contributing member of a team, not a consumer being served. Rule 6 is the gift of independence. In Tokyo, you will see 7-year-olds taking the subway alone. In Los Angeles, we might call the police if we saw that. But the small errands rule is vital. Japanese parents give children manageable risks, like walking to the corner store alone. This builds self-efficacy, the internal belief that I am capable. When a child feels capable, they don't need to act out to get a sense of power, because they already have it. Rule 7 is low-conflict communication. Japanese parents rarely use no as a blunt instrument. Instead, they use the mirror method. If a child is acting up, they mirror the emotion back. You seem very frustrated that we have to leave the park. Once the child feels seen, their nervous system relaxes, and they become obedient because they no longer feel the need to fight for their autonomy. And finally, Rule 8, the lead by example rule. There is a Japanese proverb, the back of the parent is the child's textbook. If you want a child who doesn't yell, you must never yell. If you want a child who is patient, you must be patient with them when they are at their worst. To help you implement this, I've developed the CALM framework. It stands for connection, attachment, limits, and modeling. C is for connection before correction. Always touch your child's shoulder or get to their level before giving an instruction. A is for attachment. Spend 15 minutes of floor time every day. No phones, just you and them. L is for logical limits. Explain the why behind the rule, not just because I said so. And M is for modeling. Show them the behavior you want to see. Let's look at a real-world example. Imagine you're at a grocery store in Chicago. Sarah's daughter, Mia, wants a toy. The old way would be Sarah saying, "No, put it back. We aren't buying that today." Mia screams. Sarah gets embarrassed and snaps. "Stop it or we're going home." Result? High stress, zero learning. The Japanese way, the calm way, would be Sarah kneeling down. "Mia, I see that toy looks very fun. It's hard to leave it here, isn't it?" Mia nods, crying a little. Sarah continues. "We are going to practice our Gaman now. Let's say thank you to the toy for letting us look at it, and we will put it back for the next child." It sounds simple, almost too simple, but by acknowledging the emotion and giving it a ritual, you bypass the fight-or-flight response. If you want to see results, you need a roadmap. Weeks 1 and 2 are the proximity phase. Your only goal is to stop yelling from other rooms. If you need to tell your child something, you walk to them, every single time. It will be exhausting at first, but by day 7, you will notice they start looking for you before they act out. Weeks 3 and 4 are the skinship phase. Increase physical touch by 50%. Hugs, hair ruffling, sitting close during a movie. This rewires their nervous system to view you as a source of safety, not a source of rules. By month 2, you enter the empathy phase. Start using the Meiwaku logic. If we leave our shoes here, Daddy might trip. Let's help the family stay safe. Now, what if it doesn't work? What if your child is particularly strong-willed? One of the biggest problems is the extinction burst. When you stop yelling and start using these calm methods, the child might actually get worse for a few days. They are testing the new boundaries. If this happens, don't panic. It's a sign the brain is changing. Stay the course. If they scream, you get quieter. If they push, you offer a hug. I remember a case in Boston, a mother named Lisa whose son would have meltdowns for an hour every night. She started the whisper rule. She vowed to only speak in a whisper when he was screaming. By the 3rd night, the son stopped screaming within 5 minutes. Why? Because you can't have a power struggle with someone who refuses to fight. If you have mastered the basics, there is a level 5 master technique called Kage-no-Doryoku, or shadow effort. This is where you anticipate a problem before it happens and pre-teach the calm. If you know the airport will be stressful, you spend the morning role-playing the airport in your living room, making it a game of Gaman. When you combine these ancient Japanese principles with modern neuroscience, the results aren't just obedient children, but harmonious families. Tapping into this level of parenting requires a shift in your identity. You are no longer the boss, you are the guide. So, let's recap. Stop the yelling, prioritize skinship, teach empathy through Meiwaku, practice Gaman yourself, and always, always get down to their level. Your first step starts right now, literally, right after this video. Go to your child, find them wherever they are in the house, and just give them a 10-second hug. Don't say anything about their chores or their grades, just connect. Tomorrow, try the proximity rule. No shouting across the house. If you do this for just 7 days, I promise you, you will see a different child looking back at you. I've put a calm parenting checklist in the description below to help you track your progress. It's completely free. Now, I want to hear from you. Comment below with the word harmony if you are ready to stop the yelling cycle today. I read every single one. In the next video, we're going to dive into the Japanese secret to picky eaters. You won't want to miss it. See you there, and remember, stay calm.